Well, it's Tuesday, and you all know what that means. As you probably know right about now, NXT continues with more of the NXT Championship ladder match qualifier. Now remember, Ricky Starks has automatically already has a spot, but two more spots were already added previously. But however, who will be joining in the three remaining spots? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. And we also got plenty other things that are taking place as well. But first things first, we're going to be reviewing, of course, Pro Wrestling Noah with their much recent show, Monday Magic. Now, remember, we already reviewed day one of that one for the starting of the season. So we're going to see who actually makes an appearance. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And then, of course, as always, we'll wrap up our episode as usual with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling views from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. Anywhere pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information is unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough of the jibber jabbers. Let's get to it. So, let's continue on with more of Pro Wrestling Noah with Monday Magic. All right, Pro Wrestling Noah's Monday Magic Rising Sun. Now, this is episode 2 of this part of the season. Now, for those who probably are still new of this channel, or those who may not follow Monday Magic, let me give you guys a brief description of what it is. Monday Magic is where you don't know who's going to show up. Like, normally it's not just wrestlers based out of course, Noah. Also wrestlers coming from Dragon Gate we had DDT, including some of the Yoshi wrestlers, of course. They'll be having their own match if that's the case, because as you know, they've been opening the doors for Yoshi wrestlers to make an appearance. So that pretty much sets it up. But this promotion is normally run by Nosawa Run Guy, who recently retired a year or two ago, and now he makes decisions booking the matches on this one, and that's how it is. Now, let's get started with this event. This happened, of course, recently on the 26th of January in Shinjuku Face. Opening our match, we have Dragon Bane and Archie Cole that take on Los Intocables. Uh, that features not only Daga, but also Daiki Odishima. So basically, as you guys know, these guys are a very established tag team. So basically, you have to face there's a team that are very well established and very cohesion. They facing off against a team that are very much already a makeshift. So obviously, we can guess in this matter that the more experienced team will likely win, and that's always been the case because Odashima was able to apply a somewhat of a suplex onto Archie Cole and no, yeah, on Archie Cole, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Los Intocables picked up the win. Our next match, we have singles action. We have Black Mensuri taking on the big man Galeno del Mal. So basically, let's just say Black Mensuri might have couldn't beat Goliath on this one because if you guys ever seen Galeno del Mal, he's basically a much bigger individual. And don't forget, he is a third generation wrestler. His father is Dr. Wagner Jr., his brother is Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., and of course, then don't forget his mother's side of the family are also wrestlers, so that experience says it right there. But it was, of course, Galeno that picked up in a fantastic win when he applied a reverse brainbuster. That's what the commentators were saying in some part when they try to say it in English in their own distinct accent, but it worked pretty well. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now we did see, of course, the guy who runs Monday Magic, Nosawa Run Guy, making his presence known until unexpectedly we had a surprise visit from Bushi. Yep, the same Bushi from Los Ingorbenables, now part of Los Tranquilos de Japón. So basically, he was just there, and of course, surprise, surprise, I should have seen that one coming, or should I say, I might have expected it, but then no. Bushi kind of gave him the black mist. I don't know what his reasons, but it looks like he's trying to show him, hey, I'm running the show now. So that's possibly one of the cases there. I'm not sure, but we'll see. Now, our next match, we have a bit of a three-way tag team match. We have Arutoki and Dan Dugan. They face against Nathan DeWitt and Tetsuya Endo versus Daisuke Sekimoto and Jack Morris. I thought the match was pretty good. However, there was a lot of chaos, you probably guess, because, like I said, it's a three-way tag team match. Basically, you don't know what to expect out of it because it gets very chaotic. But in the end, it was went with a 450 splash onto Dugan, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Next up, we have a 6-woman tag team match. That's right, we have the Yoshi wrestlers making their way. Team number 1, we have Miyuki Takase, Miyu Momono, Hibiscus Me. They take on, of course, the Great Sakuya, Zones, and Amel. Now, I did not, there was a lot of things I wouldn't anticipate. Now, for those who don't know, Great Sakuya, she's like a very oddball here in this one, so you probably wouldn't expect it. But we did expect her to give a green mist onto someone, and the person who ended up in the wrong side was Hibiscus Me. But that gave Zones enough time, of course, to apply a lariat onto her, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, when the victory celebration was happening, well, let's just say, um, don't try to think for a second that Great Sequoia is going to be your friend. No, she's not the type. She's just like her dad, the Great Muda, if you guys notice. Great Muda doesn't need actual tag team partners. He just needs partners that can rely on the match, not a lifelong tag team partnership. The person who knows that very well is Toro Yano. If you guys forgotten, Great Muda took care of that with the Great Okan, but Yano knows perfectly well. Don't act like you're going to be his tag team partner because he doesn't need you for that. And that's what Great Sequoia was there. But however, Great Sequoia has other things in her mind. And those who did not notice, she does the GHC. Means she wants the GHC women's title that currently is being held by Mayu Iwatani. So obviously it could happen, but the real question is when. Because from during this time, of course, we know that recently, even though I haven't reviewed yet, Mayu Iwatani retained the GHC title against Utami Ishida, but I'll get to that at some point anyway. She wants to have a shot, but the real question is, will Mayu Iwatani even respond to that? That's the one thing we haven't heard yet, but soon enough we'll find out. Now, our next match, we have Iker Navarro and Keito Kiyomiya taking on the two champions, Titus Alexander, who is, as you all know, our new hardcore champion. He teams up with the GHC heavyweight champion Yoshiki Inamura. So I thought it was going to be a very fantastic team up because, of course, Inamura, you all know, he has his own unique ways. But Alexander, I have to say, he's very talented. He knows exactly what he needs to do. But in the end, it was Inamura with a big splash onto onto Navarro, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, adios. Now, our main event, we have a very interesting combination. We have Hayata teaming up with Shuji Kondo and Masada. They take on three masked wrestlers, Alejandro, Dragon Kid, and of course, Hayabusa. No one expected Hayabusa than me. Now, this is not the old Hayabusa, as you all remembered it. This is the new and improved that was, of course, given permission by Hayabusa's daughter to continue the legacy with someone else. And that's exactly what happened. So basically, one side we have wrestlers who are based out of mask wrestlers. The other one, hell no, no mask. But it was a fantastic win, a match. But in the end, it was, of course, Alejandro that applied a corkscrew splash onto Masada. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was done. But Alejandro also put out a fantastic uh, promo where he, of course, closed down the show. But it's great to see that. So hopefully we get to see more of Alejandro, but in Monday Magic teaming up with more masked wrestlers. But as of right now, we're done with this. Let's move on with our last review, and that is, of course, NXT. Okay, NXT. Now, we were supposed to start with the NXT Championship ladder match qualifier, Joe Hendry versus Jackson Drake of the Vanity Project. However, we did see, of course, Joe Hendry on the ground back, and behind him, well, surprise, surprise, is the Vanity Project. So they attacked them. And of course, Ava was not happy with the results of this, basically try to ruin her show on this one. And of course, she had no other choice but to move ahead. So they decided to jump in with the NXT tag team titles on the line. So of course we have Dark State, um, Osiris, and Shaquam take on OTM, which is of course OTM what they've been hoping for. This is what they wanted. They wanted these tag team titles since they first. And of course, Joe Hendry was right. He told them if you guys get involved, you'll be directly in the direct line of those titles, and it worked. Now it seems like there was moments where OTM had this match under control until Vanity Project, for whatever reason, decided to get involved. And of course, Hank and Tank showed up to confront them, to tell them, what the hell, dude? And that because of that, it allowed for, of course, for Shakam actually picked up the win onto, who was it that got pinned? Onto, of course, onto Price. And then, of course, we'd see a big scuffle with OTM with Vanity Project. And then, of course, Hank and Tank got involved. Well, they were not indirectly. They were confronting Vanity Project for getting involved. Some of you may question, why would they do that? My guess is that the Vanity Project are trying to make their mark and try to claim those titles for themselves. But when it comes to Dark State, forget it. You don't want to be around them. But however, Dark State made of course, got what they wanted, retained the belt until out of nowhere, the Collings showed up, Nico Vance and Sean Spears. So the real question is, now we have a frenzy of tag teams that want to challenge the Dark State for those tag belts. So we'll see where that goes. Now, we did see Blake Monroe in the back. As you know, she is, in a way, has to deal with Jada Parker, who, as you all may have remembered, Blake Monroe feels that her spotlight was stolen by Jada Parker. But Nikita Lyons decided that she's going to deal with her, as a favor. But of course, Blake Monroe was like, not sure what to make of it, but she appreciated the favor. And that's where we jump in. Nikita Lyons versus Jada Parker. Now, of course, Nikita Lyons is good at what she does. I mean, she does have some martial art status and all that, but Jada Parker, let's just say she's a bit more of aggressive. I mean, she did use the hypnotic as one way, and then she applied the deja vu onto her, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Until, of course, we did see Blake Monroe, who feels like, that Jada Parker had no business taking the spotlight, all this other things. So we'll see where that goes from there. Now, Lexis King and Tavion Heights, as you know, recently got into a nice, interesting dilemma. Remember, it was Tavion Heights who defeated Lexis King in a match for the WWE Speed Championship, which, of course, Lexis King, being a big baby about it with big diapers, decided to attack him right after he lost to Jasper Troy. So that's what led to a match right there. Now, the Elegance brands, as you know, they have to defend the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team belt against Zarya and Soruka. So, as you all know, recently there has been some problems between them. Of course, Zarya lost uh, in the whole situation with the TNA Knockouts title and what happened last week, that sort of thing. So, there's been more, how do I say, issues with that. Even Zarya is having a problem trying to get to Soruka. Even Thea Hale tried to talk to her, but of course Zarya was not going to have it. So that's what really happened. Now, Ethan Page, as you probably know, recently has been trying to persuade Miles Bourne to take a different trajectory. Tried to tell him, you got to go this way, enough with this, baby face crap, all that. And of course, Ricky Saints tries to be the guy who try to reason with them, but however, that didn't go well. Now, we jump into that match, the NXT title ladder match qualifier, Dion Lennox versus Miles Bourne. Now, of course, things would have gone differently, but out of nowhere, surprise, surprise, Ethan Page showed up. He even tried to encourage Miles Bourne, but at some point, Ethan Page decided to toss the North American title onto him to whack Dion Lennox, but of course, Miles Bourne couldn't do it. But because of that, it was Dion Lennox that picked up the loss on that. So he got pinned in that matter. And of course, he's in the qualifier. But Ethan Page decided to had enough, try to get in his face that he screwed up, that he will never succeed. But at some point, Miles Bourne snapped. And just like that, he probably will be coming for the North American title. So we'll see what happens from there. Now, we did see Tony D'Angelo being escorted by security. It seems that he wants to have a talk with Ava. Now, Tony told Ava, why did you bail me out? She's saying, look, I have these guys, Ricky Saints and a few others, they're all about themselves. But you more about TNA than anybody. So he wants to know if he's in or out. But however, he did say next week he's going to explain his actions for what he has caused. So we can't wait to see what's going to happen. Now let's jump in, of course, with Tavion Heights versus Lexis King. Now remember, Tavion Heights defeated Lexis King in the spot for the chance of try to win the WWE Speed Championship. But of course, Lexis King hasn't forgotten, and watching him in this matter is Stax and Ariana Grace. They were right there on the ringside, they didn't get involved, but it was Lexis King with the coronation, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, the King won. Now, we did see, of course, Ava talking to Vanity Project because, as you know, Ava's not happy with what transpired. Now, of course, Vanity Project saying they had nothing to do with it. That they never attacked them. They just said they just took the credit. But of course, Ricky Smokes, being the dumbass out of all of them, decided that what happened at tag match wasn't their fault. That he was playing the same thing. Dude, we just saw you getting involved. But however, Ava said that Jackson Drake automatically gets a spot. But if Joe Hendrick comes out of it, well, he might be added into it. So we'll see how that goes. Now, Andre Chase, as you probably know, he's been dealing with the matter of what's going on. Well, let's just say he is more focused on his own thing. Basically, he's inside the qualifier match. So we'll see what happens from there. Now, our next match, Zarya taking on Thea Hale. So that kind of sets it up right there. But of course, Izzy Dame, as you know, has made her way towards the ring to, of course, do a commentary spot watching this. Now, while the match was happening, of course, Izzy Dame was attacked by Tatum Paxley, and just like that, Izzy just ran to the hills. While the match was kept going, Zarya got distracted when she saw uh, Laney Reed and Fallon Henley, no Jay-Z Jane. But this cost her the match when Thea Hill rolled her up, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. And then of course, the Elegant. Then of course we did see Zarya. Let's just say that took matters in her own hands. So we'll see what happens until then. Now, Ren Sinclair was telling Charlie Dempsey of that number one contendership spot, along with Kendall Grace, saying like, "Look, we may not have won, but we didn't lose the match either. It was a three-way." So Ren Sinclair tries to reason with them on that, and then of course, while this was happening, Lexis King, Stacks, and of course Ariana Grace appeared, and of course Kendall and uh, Ren left. But however, of course, King and Stacks were trying to tell him, "Are you in with us?" It's like, out of your mind. Basically, Charlie Dempsey has no business with them, but I don't know exactly what's going to happen from there. Now, our next match is the next qualifier match for the NXT title ladder match, Andre Chase versus Keanu Carver. Well, you probably can guess that this match was definitely a go with Keanu Carver because he's been a force to be reckoned with. He picked up pinfall, and just like that, he was in it. And then, of course, we did see in the end all competitors involved in the ladder match. Everybody has some things to say about this. And then all hell broke loose. Ricky Saints tried to pull down the title off the rafters because he wants it for himself. Tried to say, "I'm the champion regardless," but Joe Hendry showed up and stopped him. But however, he got manhandled by, of course, Keanu Carver. So the real question is Keanu Carver going to be the next NXT champion? Well, we'll just have to wait and see until then. But for now, we'll end things here. Move on with our last and final thing as we end our reviews. Let's start with some news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. So let's begin, as always, with upcoming events. We have two updates on GCW in case anybody asks. As you probably know, they will be in Philadelphia by the end of this month on the 31st of February for Crushed Up. They just announced a six-person tag match. Six-man tag team match. Gringo Loco, Samurai del Sol, and Vengador taking on a group known as the Spectrum Savoy. I have seen these guys before. They're from a team based out of on the East Coast. I forgot where, but yes, a pretty good team. I like their mask. I'm not gonna lie. And then, of course, as you know, we have more of uh, the the collective involved in Las Vegas. We had the Josh Barnett Bloodsport number 15, I believe, is going to happen on the 17th of April. They just announced the Pink Striker Miyu Yamashita will be there too, so a good choice. And then, of course, our last update on the upcoming events. As you know, on the 27th of February, the West Coast Pro will be in LA for Evil Empire. They just announced Billy Starks will take on Miko Alana. So that's pretty much it for upcoming events. Now, on to some developments. Uh, Recently, as you probably may have heard, TNA has signed Mr. Elegance. So basically, now he is officially part of the TNA roster. So, congratulations on that. Many of you know that recently there's been talk about Evil, who is now on his way out from New Japan. Fightful Select reports that, of course, Evil has been in talks with WWE once his contract with New Japan is up by the end of this month. Now, remember, guys, many of contracts will expire from New Japan by the end of this month. It never happens like right away. They do this every single year. Now, finally, the Rascalz were recently did an interview, and they asked him who they're most excited to see, and everybody said the same thing. Eddie Kingston, basically, even Desmond Xavier said that they call him Uncle Eddie. So they said the reason they are more happy to see him is because they travel together. They even hanged out. They're like more of the Eddie taught them about both the stuff in the ring and like life outside the ring, that sort of thing, which is good. I don't know if we will ever see Eddie Kingston and Rascalz interact, in the story wise. I don't know, but it would be interesting to see that. But who knows? So I think that's pretty much it. What we have for our news updates. So let's call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, as you probably know, we have AEW and Evolve taking place, so there's a lot of things will be happening. So the priority on the next episode will be WWE Evolve and AEW Dynamite. Now, if there's any other reviews, I'll do so. But on the good front here, for many of you, I will do a special episode that will review the recent 4 shows for Marvelous. So most likely, I already have date 2 of that show already been handled. So that'll be coming up soon. As soon as I finished, I will release that in another date. So we'll see how things will go from there. But as of right now, that's pretty much it. So until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.